Broadband and Bigfoot, how to build engagement into your service strategy. That's what we'll be talking about on this episode of the Story Connect podcast. Hi, I'm your host, Megan McCoy-No, one of the storytellers at Pioneer Utility Resources, and I am joined by Kelly Burns, the marketing manager at CTC in Minnesota. Kelly, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Now, we are asking utility pioneers across the nation for tips on how to increase broadband subscriptions and build loyalty both in their community and with their staff, which brings me, naturally, to Bigfoot. Now, when we were together at Story Connect, you were wearing an amazing shirt, maybe my favorite shirt of all time. It had your name on the front. It was styled as a name tag sticker. I think it had your title on there. And on the back was this message: broadband doesn't have to be scary. And then there was a large silhouette of Bigfoot. Kelly, tell me about this shirt and why it was created.
Yeah, so we have been attending the NRECA, which is the Electrics Conference every year. And
The National Rural Electric Cooperative Association's conference.
yes,
Okay.
so this is usually at the beginning of March. And being on the telecom side, we're kind of a little fish in a big pond. And so we wanted to bring awareness to the fact that CTC partners with electric cooperatives quite frequently. And we just wanted to somehow draw people in so we could have a conversation about how we could help them with their broadband needs. And so when we were going through kind of our creative process, we're like, well, what's going to attract people? And we're like, what about Bigfoot?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it doesn't have to be scary. Bigfoot, is scary, but I mean, it's like, it's just kind of a fun concept. So we went with it and we created the t-shirt. I think mine was Yeti Tracking Manager or something. And we handed out Jack Link's beef sticks
Of course you did.
and it was great. Yeah, it was super fun and we had a good time with it and definitely visually pleasing, so that is always helpful.
Yes, and I feel like this campaign has legs. Y'all could use it in the future too. But it's a really good point. Now you partner with a lot of folks on broadband. I know you partner with Arrowhead.
Yep.
And have for many years. How many folks do y'all partner with?
We have a couple tribal entities that we partner with. We've got about, I want to say, 3 electric partners right now. So,
Okay.
That's always a growing area of ours, and 1 to 2 tribes that we're working with as well. So it's great getting to know all them, and we have such a great relationship between us, and it's very collaborative, which is, what is exactly what you need, an open conversation and communication, and it's worked out really well for both parties.
Well, and see, and I love having you here because I do think that y'all have really shown a lot of folks how successful a partnership can be. You don't have to do this all by yourself, right? You can work with people either right, in your same community or in neighboring communities, and work together cooperatively to help connect your community. So wonderful story there about what y'all have done. But I want to get back to Bigfoot. I know the shirt, but I get excited because it's very elusive. No, I love that. I love and appreciate the way that y'all don't take yourselves too seriously, right? You have fun, and I think that shirt is evidence of that. And you are really good at building up awareness of broadband service and keeping folks engaged and excited about it. So what else do you do to really keep your staff and the community informed and excited about broadband service?
Well, I think some of the most fun or interactive things that we do are we have Taste of Technology events. So we hold 3 to 4 throughout the summer, and it's really an opportunity to meet the community, meet our current members, but also anyone who's looking to add service. We want them to come and meet us as well. We have a pretty large staff that attend those, and we're there to answer questions. This summer we're doing a seminar on elder fraud. We've talked about, our apps and complete Wi-Fi and things like that in the past. And so it's, we have a little bit of education, but we also have a big meal, which we've focused again on meat because people love meat packs, and you can't go
People
wrong with
like
that.
meat.
So it's like a
And I should
meet
say,
and
you're not.
greet.
I love your meet and greets. We've talked about this before, but I should say you have a meal at these Taste of Technology events, but then you also give away frozen meat.
Yes. Yep.
Correct. So it's two different ways that you're feeding. Well, I guess three different ways that you're feeding them because they get a meal, they might get frozen meat, and you're feeding them education at the
Exactly.
same
That's even
time.
better.
So I love that. Why do you? Well, first off, how many people attend your Taste of Technology events?
Um, I would say traditionally we have anywhere between 100 to 125. Certain areas, this year there's one where we're kind of planning for 200 just because it's a pretty populated area, and the
Yeah.
timing is right around the 4th of July, and there's a lot of people in the community around that time. So hopefully that'll be a big event, and we're actually partnering with the fire department. So just a little bit different avenue, but they're going to talk about how they use CTC technology for public safety, which is also
Ooh.
another fun avenue to take with that.
I love this. We have a Bigfoot costume that we have purchased at Pioneer. If you need to borrow this and have Bigfoot make a special appearance sometime, we can talk offline
Oh,
about
that would
that
be amazing.
possibility.
We have
I
our
know,
mascot
because
too. We could put them together, and
wait, what's your
our
mascot?
mascot is Gigabyte. So we
Of
partnered.
course it is.
Yeah, he's a fiber monster, and he lights up. His tentacles light up. But we
I'm
partnered with.
sorry, his tentacles
Yes.
light up? What kind of a monster is this? Give me for folks that because I'll put a picture of it at
Yeah.
pioneer.coop/podcast, but paint the picture of this gigabyte technical
So
tentacle
he
monster.
is neon green, and he's
Okay,
fuzzy. I'd say, yeah, he's
of
got some
course.
long fur, and he's got four tentacles on the top of his head that kind of look like eyeballs, but they light up with different strip lights. So they have the fiber optic lights in him. And then we call him our pay it forward associate because a lot of times he is out in the community buying lunch for people or handing out gift cards or just.
Wait. Okay. Kelly, I can't believe we have not talked about your fiber monster going out to so does the mascot just go out on Fiber Fridays and buy lunch for people in the community? I mean, what?
Well, it started as, we used to only have him for the month of October. We partnered with
Sure.
the local arboretum, and they host a haunted trail every year. And we got to pick our monster, and we picked Fiber Monster, and we liked him so much, and he became such a valuable employee that we were like, he's going to be our pay it forward associate. So we took a couple days and would go out to the grocery stores or local fast food joints, and we bought lunch for people, and he waved in the car, and now we have a lot of parades this summer, so we're gonna have to
Yeah.
now we've worked out a deal where he gets to work with us more throughout the year, so we're hoping that we can have him attend some parades and our Taste of Tech events, and it'll be great.
So this is still fairly new,
Yeah, well, we've had
right?
him for about 4 years, but I think
Okay.
now is the longest we've been able to hang out with him.
This is exciting. Does he have his own does his fur have pockets for pulling out his
Yeah,
pay
so
it
usually
forward
he
card?
wears a CTC T-shirt, and then he's got a green green jumpsuit. He doesn't like the costume he has to wear at the ARB sometimes, so we change it up. And he's got some shorts and bright shoes that light up also.
Oh my goodness. All right. Well, we will definitely have to get pictures of Gigabyte.
Yes.
This is very exciting and an unexpected twist to our
That's
conversation.
right.
Okay. So I wanted to, this makes me so happy, but I did want to talk to you because y'all have been doing this. How long have y'all been connecting folks to internet service?
Oh gosh, it started back, I want to say, we've done DSL and things like that for years, but the fiber
Yeah.
started around 2010, 2011. And the
Okay.
original fiber started with, it was a partnership between the county and the school district and some local government entities because they needed a fiber ring so that people could
Sure.
work and learn and do all the things that they needed to do. And that's really what kind of started all of the fiber projects.
Right. Now, have you been upgrading your system to all fiber? Are you 100%
We
fiber? Do
are
you still have
pretty
some
much all
dial-up or
fiber. We
DSL?
have, I mean, less than probably a couple percents that have some old copper, but for the most part, yeah, we're updating everything, and everything we put in the ground is fiber.
Okay. And you've received some grants to help you expand service into new areas. So let's talk about, I mean, we've talked about the fun that y'all have with marketing, but also it's very targeted storytelling is a big part of marketing for broadband. So, how do you tell members and potential subscribers about when service is available in a new area?
Yeah, so traditionally, once we get the awards from the state or federal, we'll put out a press release and we really talk it up on social media. And when we know what areas we're starting with, it's kind of a long process. So before we do the grant or before we submit the grant, we are collecting interest and making sure that, people know that there's a possibility that we might bring fiber to their neighborhoods. And we
Hmm.
also ask for letters of support. So then it's not really a surprise. We have champions that'll help us in those areas to go out and talk about what could be coming. And then once we award, it's like a big part. It's always exciting when we're awarded because it's like all of our hard work and all the community's hard work in getting that has come to fruition. And then usually, initially we send a letter saying, hey, we did it, we got fiber, it's coming, sign up now. And then we'll do pre-installation, so we get everything set up from the inside out, and then while they're doing construction throughout the summer, then hopefully we can connect them. It's a lot easier to connect them at that point, and we send our broadband in a
Oh,
box, so they can just take their box
I'm
and
sorry.
plug their stuff in.
What?
Yeah.
So you don't just wait for the construction to be done before you do installations. You go ahead and do it early, have everything set up on the subscriber's end. So the minute fiber is available, you send them, you said broadband in a
Yep, so
box?
we'll send the
What's this?
router and we send the information that they need to get set up on their own. We show them how to look for the lights and where to plug everything, and then we send them some socks and some fun stuff, and they're good to
You
go.
include socks?
Yes, we have some
Are they branded
little branded
branded
socks that we
socks?
like to leave behind with them. So
Okay, so they get socks in their broadband box. That reminds me of a
I was just thinking
story.
that, like, hey, I could do something with this.
Yeah. What else is in the box?
Their setup instructions and then their router
The
and
router.
equipment. Yeah, whatever equipment
And
they need just to plug and go.
okay, okay, I like that. Is there any like for managed Wi-Fi? Do y'all offer that? Do
Yep,
you have like a number to
we
call?
do have managed Wi-Fi.
Something.
So as we're doing these pre-installs, one of the prerequisites is that they actually go in and set up their account. So then it's much
Okay.
easier when they get the box in the mail. They've already done it. They have the app, and they just have to scan the router and link everything up. So it works out great. And we've also
That's
shown
nice.
that the people who have received the broadband in a box, they actually have a higher NPS score and a better, more satisfaction with us. So
I was going to say NPS is
net promoter score.
ac-
So it's
okay.
basically their feelings about their services or how they feel about that company.
Yeah. Okay. Do you have any messaging with your broadband box, like party
We have a
time,
welcome
block
packet
party?
that is really kind of showcases who we are. So it talks about our employees, just a touch on our history, where they can reach out to us if they need anything. So it's really just about kind of the service and how, you know, they're coming in to be part of our family. So
Oh, welcome to the family. I love that. I haven't heard of anyone doing all of that work ahead of time and then sending a box. That's a lot of fun. I'm curious. That's for the new
mhm.
areas, but then you have your existing area that's already built out, right? what is your take rate like in the areas where you're available, and how do you track that and build it into your marketing goals?
Yeah, so typically we would say in a construction year or some of our existing footprint, we try to get about 50%. We like to be at, 70 or 80 within the next couple years.
Wouldn't we
We
all?
all know there's a ramp up period and time, adoption rates take longer and longer.
Sure.
So, within a couple years, we'd like to be at that 70%. One of the things that we're focusing on now, we've seen that just through some data trends that as our customers hit that 5 or 6 year mark, they kind of get in a honeymoon phase. So they become more stagnant and just kind of complacent. And so at that point now it's like, well, it goes back to the taste of technology. We just want to make sure we're continually engaging with them and just seeing if they need anything or, what can we do
Marriage
to
counseling.
kind of help them know that we're here. And
Yeah. No, I like that. Do you break down your market by where you have lower take rates and have specific marketing that you do in those areas, and what does that look like?
yeah, so we do. We have some very focused areas that we'll be working on this summer, and we have a
Mm-hmm.
lot of board members who, they're a lot of people know our board members, and so one of the things we're doing is really showcasing them in those areas to say like
Ooh.
we went out and took pictures of all of our board members in their day-to-day habitat. So like we have one who's a dairy farmer, and we have one who she owns a hair salon, and one who owns a flower shop and some restaurants. And so by featuring her and her business, it humanizes them a little bit, and it
Yeah.
gives them more personality, and also they're recognizable in that community. So we can say, hey, not only are they a board member, but they're a customer and they're in your community. So
Nice.
that's a new one that we're kicking off here in the next couple weeks, and the board is really excited about it, and the pictures have turned out just fantastic. They've just been so fun to work with, and I'm excited for that campaign. I think it'll be great. Anytime you can feature your own employees or people that are in the community, it goes so much further.
Oh, 100%. How are you going to be sharing that? I mean, are you going to do any direct mail in those markets? Are you doing, because these are people, are any of them folks that don't have maybe service with your telco for broadband, but maybe they have telephone with y'all? So, how are you going to take those images and get them out in the community? Are you doing direct mail? Are you doing targeted digital advertising? Are you going to have flyers out in community centers? I mean, what are y'all doing for that?
Yeah, so we will for sure have postcards going out, and postcards or mailers. We're thinking of it, people can just toss the postcards so easily, it seems like. So one of the things we're trying is different shapes, and doing like a 5x7 card and putting it in an envelope and different things just to try to get people to open it up. So
Yeah.
playing around with that a little bit. We'll also do a lot of targeted social media, some Google ads. There's a couple communities where a billboard makes sense. Like there's one where everybody knows her. So having a billboard locally, like I think that'll really resonate in that area. Um,
Yeah.
I know some of the smaller areas, it's really just about kind of getting their face out there and their messaging out there. And they'll be at the Taste of Tech events. They love coming to those too. So just having them in the community so they can talk to people and answer questions, that's been really great.
I wonder if you have, especially for your board members that are business owners, like you mentioned, one has a hair salon. Um, you could always turn that into a discount
Mm-hmm.
coupon for going in to seeing her. I'd love to give you a cut and help you connect. Um, you know, 10% off
Yeah.
or something like that. I don't know. You could have a lot of fun with that to add some value to the card. But do you have any QR codes for them on those mailers for them to be able to sign up? Although if they don't have good service, it might not be as
Yeah,
effective.
we usually put QR codes and the website and the phone number, just, as many options as we can, really.
Cover your bases, sure.
Yep. We have yard signs. The yard signs aren't necessarily with their pictures on them, but we do have some of the taglines. Like, I think one, she owns a flower shop, so it's growth or growing your community, something like that. I forget the specific tagline,
Aw.
but it's
Yeah.
rooted in your community. That's what it is.
Oh, I love that. I want to see an example of that. I think that'll be a lot of fun. But nice, you have those messages, getting the board members out there. I love that. And hopefully that will help increase your take rates in those communities
Yeah,
too,
for
because it's
sure.
about building brand awareness and brand loyalty by tying in people they know. Well, one last question before I let you go, Kelly. What advice do you have for a utility communicator that is switching gears from launching a brand to increasing broadband market share in their community?
Oh, I would say just really get to know the community, spend time with the community, and if you can get a couple champions, they're they will catapult your business tenfold. Like I have a couple champions that we've worked with, and they call me on a monthly basis. Construction's been done there for a couple years, and they're like my favorite people to talk to every month. Just to say, hey, how's
How
it going? Like we're still here, so it's great. So really, just get to know the communities and the people in the community.
and how did you find those champions? Because we talked about your board members, but this doesn't sound like board
No,
members.
so I think initially when we first had talked about doing broadband, they had, a couple of them, one in particular had gone to these council meetings and government meetings and was like, well, how do we bring broadband to our tiny little community? And he just kept coming up to the meetings, and then just in talking and meeting, he helped us get letters of support, and he was at every event, and then you just form a bond, and then just kind of builds from there. That relationship building is huge.
Does he have a Bigfoot T-shirt?
No, he should have one though.
He
He would wear it
should.
with pride.
He
I know he
should.
would.
He would. He would. Well, I love that. Finding those champions in your community, building those relationships with them, and then keeping those relationships going past your initial launch, past when they connect, so that they're still advocating for you in the community. I think it is so important. Well, thank you, Kelly, so
Yeah.
much for sharing your story with Utility Pioneers. She is Kelly Burns at CTC, and I'm your host, Megan McCoyno at Pioneer Utility Resources. And until we talk again, keep telling your story.
Story Connect is produced by Pioneer Utility Resources, a communications cooperative that is built to share your story. Story Connect is engineered by Lucas Smith of Lucky Sound Studio.